Hey guys, Swiss here. As promised, video about nutrition. I just got back from the gym, so I am a little tired. Did my triceps and my chest. Um, as I talked about earlier, I made my plan for when I was going. The only thing I did different about my initial setup was that I decided today would be a good day since um, I don't know really what my maxes are anymore, or any of my PRs. So um, I went ahead and just did some. I did as much weight as I could up front on the flat dumbbell press. So I was only able to do 100-pound dumbbells on with both hands, but I only did that for like 4 reps. And at that point, I was like, shit, if I keep going, I'm going to wear myself out and not have enough energy for the rest of my workout. So I was like, okay, let's move on. And basically, all I did after that was I still did some high rep, low weight dumbbell press on the flat bench. And then I went over to the machines and I started with the incline and just did single arm incline presses 10 times, 3 times each on both sides. And then I moved, or excuse me, yeah, 10 times. I did that 5 times on the incline press, 5 sets of 10 on each side. I did them one at a time. And then I moved on to the regular bench machine. And then I went on to the wide. And basically I did that because it did a full angle. So I got the top, middle, and the lower pec. And then after that, I went and did my cable flies, did my lowers, and then I did uppers supersetted with a, I went back over to the bench and just got 2 dumbbells, held them together, and just came in right here. And that's going to work this inner part of the chest. So after that was done, nobody laughed at me, pulled a flat bench over to the Smith machine, and here's why. Because I can't do reverse grip press without a spotter with heavy weight. Sorry guys, I'm not going to crush myself. It's not worth it. Went to the Smith machine, did 3 sets of, got it right here on the paper. I did 3 sets of 6, and then my last set I did as many as I possibly could, burned out, and I was supersetting that with skull crushers. So right as I did my skull crushers with the 60-pound easy bar, I went right into the reverse grip, and I only had 45s on each side because I was just trying to burn out. I'd already worked a bunch of my chest, excuse me. And then I went over to the cables and just did some, tricep extensions. I got a flat bar, did one of those, and then I came and did the other way. And then, yeah. And then I just did some single tricep extensions down to the side like this just to kill them off. And that was my workout, guys. And I only took like an hour, hour and a half maybe, just to get all that done. But I took a lot of time at the beginning because I was trying to do my max out and get a PR for my dumbbell press at the beginning there. So I was taking like 2 or 3 minute breaks in between there and between each set. So until I worked my way up to be able to do 100 on both sides. But I think I can do more, but I didn't want to wear myself out doing that max out at the beginning because I wanted to save more energy for the rest of my workout. So I needed a little bit of balance in there. On Friday, I'm gonna actually max out and see what I can actually do because I don't really know. And that actually leads me on to my next point. Is unfortunately, and it really hurts my heart inside because there was a lot of other memories on there, but I can't find my old phone from when I was like first starting out. So I don't know where it is. I've torn my old room apart at my dad's. I've looked fucking everywhere. Can't find it. Oh well. Tough luck. What I did happen to remember though is I had some pictures on my Facebook account from back in 2016. I have one from May and one from October that I'm going to post on my channel. And hopefully you guys can see that. And that was back in 2016 when I was down in South Austin, and what am I trying to say? Just had a major fart. Found out what I was trying to say. I have wow, I'm really what I was trying to say, sorry about that guys, I totally just lost my train of thought. What I was trying to say was those are pictures back when I was in South Austin, and I had gotten up to about 215 pounds. So, you know, I'm not like just pulling stuff out of my ass here, y'all. Like, I actually used to do this like a lot when I was in high school. I have been able to, with this second round, fix a lot of the habits I had before, like cheat reps and just, you know, little critiqual things like that that have really improved my overall performance in doing this. So I will post those on my channel later after I make this video. But I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about nutrition. That was my update on what's going on with my program. And let's get into nutrition. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is basically the fundamentals of the food, supplements, vitamins, minerals, and any other source of source of nutrition out of the food you get. Sorry for using the name of the definition. Nutrition is the beneficial, I don't know another way to say that. It's like the fundamentals of food almost. Nutrition has a very broad definition. It's not just dialed in into one little thing like protein, carbs, or things like that. It's got a mix of things. It's talking nutrition covers minerals, covers vitamins and stuff that you can get from different foods and different supplements and different plants and animals. Nutrition can cover the type of fats you get from food, your diet. Nutrition is a very broad term. What I'm going to talk about is basically nutrition in terms of the intake you get from food. So, which is actually the definition I was hoping to have used at the beginning here, but I just, not happening after the gym brain, I guess, whatever. I do have some calculations that I made out on my wall right here. I'll pull these down in just a second, but it actually really takes just like a little bit of time, like maybe like a week or two, to really get to know your body on what kind of nutrition you need. So if you have a diet right now that is primarily high fat, high carb, you know, your nutrition needs are going to be to lower that fat and carb intake. Now, this is if you're trying to lose weight and gain, you know, healthy muscle and healthy weight. You'd want to, your nutritional needs would be to cut out some of those fats, some of those carbohydrates, and get more protein into your diet, because protein is something that is very easy for your body to digest. It passes through your system in almost full entirety. Like your body absorbs almost all the protein you put into it. So basically, if I eat a piece of chicken right now, my body is going to absorb a lot more of that piece of chicken than it's going to absorb if I were to pop a piece of candy in my mouth. So now I know those are two completely different things, but when you break it down, it all comes down to the calorie intake that you're getting from those two different items. So a lot of people think calorie is a calorie. True, a calorie is a unit used to measure the energy in your food. Now, with that, not all foods have the same, I guess, caloric absorption as other foods. Like I was saying with the chicken, via the piece of candy. The piece of chicken, you're going to absorb more calories, you're going to absorb more nutrition from this piece of chicken than you would from this bag of candy, which you get the point. The bag of candy is going to pass through your body and you're just going to poop it out. Now, what I've noticed is the more protein I eat, the healthier I eat, the less I go number 2. So if you're eating a lot of shit food, if you're eating carbs, you're eating fats and stuff like that, you're going to be sitting on the toilet with the stomach hurting all the time. And trust me, I was there. So one of the main important things you need to watch is your calorie intake. And what I did was I made a simple list of all the foods that I eat, and I just looked on the label, literally, just take this olive oil, and the nutrition facts are right here. It tells you exactly how much protein is in per serving. Now, we might not follow the serving amount, but it gives you a baseline of how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat is in those products with a certain amount. But you can use that amount and do just a little bit of math and create scales and or tables and worksheets and stuff that you can actually have this out and calculate it out for different amounts of food. And let me go more into depth with this and what I'm talking about here, because I totally didn't say that very well. So what I did is I took different serving sizes worth of food and calculated out the amount of protein, carbs, and fats I'd get from that one specific meal with that certain meal amount. So first up here on this one is I got my breakfast, which I have 6 eggs, 2 tortillas, an eighth of a cup of grated up cheese, and then I have a cup of milk. So, and then after that, I just went down the serving sizes and wrote out how much protein I'd get from those 6 eggs. And I know how much protein comes in 1 egg because from the sheet before with the list I made, I have egg on here, and I looked at the nutrition facts on the carton, and it told me exactly how many calories, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat I can get from 1 egg. And so all I did was multiplied all that by 6, and boom, I got my answer. So it's really not a very difficult thing to do. It does take a little bit of time because I literally had to stand here and do all this, but it only took me literally 10 minutes. And I know you guys can see my boxes of crackers in the background. Don't rag on me. I gotta have some goodness in my life, It's all about that balance. But anyway, so after you make a baseline, and I made 3 separate charts. I have 3 separate charts with, all varying food amounts. Now what I tried to do, and what I wanted to do here is during this math process, I wanted to be taking in about 20% more protein than my body weight in a whole for the entire day. And I did that with pretty much everything on here for my carbs and my fat. I wanted to be taking in 30% more carbs than my body weight, and I wanted to be taking almost 2/3 less than my body weight of fat. Now, you're going to have to really work with your body here in order to figure out what kind of food needs you have. Now, recently, I have noticed that my breakfast with 5 eggs, 1 tortilla, that's just not enough food for me anymore. At first, when I first started 30 days ago, I was eating that, and that was plenty. I could get through my breakfast, get through my workout, but then I realized, and I was always working out in the morning time, and this was my first meal, and it still is. Today just happens to be a little bit different because I had some stuff going on. Life happens. I ended up going to the gym later at night, which I usually don't do. It was fucking packed. I hated it. Anyway, so what I did was I already had baselines from my previous trial and errors over here where I had bigger serving sizes for my meals. And all I did was I replaced and moved those around. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do 6 eggs in 1 tortilla and see what that does. I already know what my protein counts are for all this stuff. I already have a column here that has, 6 eggs, how much protein I'd get from that. And then I could just add and subtract just a little bit in my head. It's not that hard. And you can kind of figure out your baseline of where you are. And when I realized that throughout the day, I'm not getting enough food, I had to increase my calorie count, so I had more fucking energy. And that's what it's all about. Excuse my language, guys. I'm really, really still trying not to cuss. I feel like I've gotten really good at it, but sometimes it slips out. I'm sorry, guys. I really am trying not to cuss. So what I did was I had a baseline for when my weight increases, basically. And so when I got up to, and I knew that when I got to 195 or 192, 195-ish, I think one of those numbers, I don't remember. I would have to just do a 20 percentile on here. I knew exactly the food amounts I would need for that weight. And so now I can sit here, and I still have 5 eggs up here at the top for this second run, but I can just manipulate this a little bit, and I can rewrite another one. Got plenty of paper. Perfectly fine to make different revisions of your food plans. It's all about understanding your body. If you can learn to work with your body and figure out the signs of, are you not getting enough food? Are you getting too much food? And all that. It's all about realizing that, all the signs in that. And it can take a little bit of time, guys, but it's about making a commitment. And if you make the commitment, follow through, y'all. It's hard work, but you're going to love it at the end. I feel great. Like, I eat good and I feel good. It's very simple math on that one, guys. Another thing that I want to talk about is sources of protein, carbs, and fats. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about where you can get these kinds of foods. Like I said before in one of my earlier videos, you don't have to have an absorbent amount of money. You don't have to be like a CEO of a company or, a complete 100% go-getter just to be able to eat properly and take care of your body. All right. I literally spend maybe once, like at most once or possibly twice a week, unless I run out of food. I spend about $50 to $60 on food a week. That's not that bad for the amount of food that I eat. That ain't bad at all. I eat 5 times a day, and that lasts me 5 days. Like, not bad, guys. Like, and all I really do, like when I cook my chicken, which I need to get started on, the oven is preheated. I'm just going to go ahead and talk to you guys while I'm doing that. One thing to remember, guys, is that make sure you don't have any junk food around you while you're trying to go through this process. Now, granted, I'm saying that while I have a little thing of pecan treasures right here, but it's okay. It's all right, guys. It's okay to have a little bit of balance. Now, I only eat like maybe 1 or 2 of those a night here and there, but I'm not going all out. I'm not eating the whole bag in one sitting, which I know some people that just do that. Like they'll sit, and it's a problem for some people because they'll sit down with a bag of candy or something like that, and they'll sit and eat the whole thing in one sitting, and like they just don't stop. And that can't possibly be healthy for you. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I need to get this, I got to get this chicken started, guys. But I'm in a good mood. I want to talk to you. So nutrition. Where can I get these sources of protein, carbs, and fats? So number one best source of protein that you can have is from meats. Now, let me just stop the train. Just because you're eating a slice of meat doesn't mean a damn thing. Okay? If you're eating a slice of brisket that has like 50% fat on it, you're not eating good meat. you're eating the lard on the back side of the animal. All right, that's not good for you. That's just fats. You're not really getting any substantial protein from that. One of the best sources that I find for chicken or for protein is, like I just said, chicken. All right, I get these, and I got almost 4.5 pounds of chicken here I got 4.25 pounds of chicken here for like literally a little over $8. Not bad. Maybe $8.50. Not bad at all, y'all. And there's no tax on food, so. And I got 2 of these. So I spent what, $16? And then I got 2 bins of spinach, and I'm good. That lasts me almost the entire freaking week, y'all. Like I don't have any freaking problems with my food. Like I got plenty that I need, and these charts are really useful for your budgeting. Like, believe me, because then you can calc out, you already know how much comes in this thing of chicken. You can use these charts to calculate out how much money you can budget your food using these charts. Some people, they don't make this plan and they go, well, I don't have the money for that kind of food. How do you know? I planned it out. I said, I need this much food per day. How much does that cost me per day? And I can go about 4 to 5 days with spending about $25-30. And then maybe I got to go back and get, maybe another thing of chicken. At most, I'm spending maybe like $50 for the entire week. That's like $200 a month. You work 20 hours. You work about 20-25 hours. Boom. There's your food for the week. Or there's your food for the month. Excuse me. But it's not as complicated as some people make it seem. Like, and having a healthy body begins right here in this kitchen. Having abs, having vascularity, having a good mindset, having energy starts in your kitchen. If you're eating like crap, if you're not taking care of your body, I say this all the time. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but it's very important. If you don't take care of your body's not going to take care of you. So if you think you can just, drink and eat McBurger flop all day and then try to go work out or go do a physical pending job, good luck. I don't know a lot of people that can do that for a long time. I couldn't. So back into chicken and protein. When you're looking at meats can be very, very, very sneaky on you, how much fat they have. So you might be getting like 5 pounds of chicken, or let's use beef. Beef is a really good one. So if you have beef, this is what I'm talking about. This big old chunk of fat right there. I just pulled that right off. This is like that nasty you got on the end of the brisket that people love. That's that fat, y'all. That's like, a little bit is okay. Your body needs fats. Don't get me wrong. Your body does need fats, but from the correct sources. Like, I'm using olive oil here to, create moisture and flavoring actually for my chicken here. So I'm just putting on the pan. Got the oven heated up. It's getting freaking hot in this little kitchen I have. And sorry, my phone just vibrated. I'm like, huh? Anyway, but meats can be very sneaky. Some meats have a lot of fat in them. Like if you guys go and get the big, whatchamacallit, you get that big log of like ground beef or something, and they're like, it's got like 80% meat or lean meat, 80% fat, or 20% fat. Ooh. Sorry. But when you have that kind of meat, that's not really great meat for you. You guys are really looking for, if you're looking for healthy, protein rich, healthy meats, you want to look for meat that doesn't really have a lot of fat on it, because the more lean meat you eat, the better off you're going to be. So what is lean meat? Like I just held up before, that white stuff on the end of the chicken, here, I'll show you on this one. This stuff right here, this is fat on a piece of meat. This is fats. So I usually just pull this off, throw it away, because I don't want it. It's too much. It's too much fat on that. This is the lean part of the meat, whether it's chicken or steak or pork. Pork, watch out for. Pork does have a high content of fat. I used to eat that a lot, and although it seems like it's lean meat, it does still have a lot of fat content in it. So it's not necessarily an A1 choice if you're primarily eating it. It's good to have variation in your diet. Don't get me wrong. Eating the same thing every day is just like I was talking about earlier, how your body remembers, and sometimes your body can get used to the protein or the nutritional absorption that it gets from certain foods, and it stops absorbing it at the level you need it to. And so, I don't know if you guys heard me, but your body can also learn to stop absorbing certain foods that you eat constantly all the time. So if you don't change up your diet, now I'm not talking like meats, I'm talking more of the carb range. So you also need to have carbs in your diet. Carbs is very good for your body's basic energy processing. Like carbs are very important for your mental health. Here's an example of the importance of carbs. If you were to go an entire day without eating carbs and only eating protein, you're going to be a very moody person. And that's because carbohydrates release different enzymes in your body. You release different neurotransmitters when you eat carbs. And if you're primarily eating just protein, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with that, it's going to alter your mental state, because you're not going to have those other neurotransmitters and enzymes being released in your body because of the carbs. Now, I don't got a freaking degree in kinesiology or nutrition or stuff like that. I've just been doing this for a very long time, and I've done a lot of research online, books, other people. And the best way to get research and advice is from other people who have literally done it before. And so that's one of the main ways that I have learned a lot of what I know here, is because I've asked people. Also, Google is my best friend, y'all. If you're watching me right now, you can get on the internet, and that means you have the answers to any question you have in the world. Carbs. Carbs are very important. Make sure you get them in. Now be careful. There are simple carbs and there's complex carbs. Just like there's simple sugar, aka simple carb, and complex carbs, rice, grains, bread, or whole wheat bread. White bread is synthetically made. It's nasty. Anyway, so, or most white bread is synthetically made. Not all, but most. I don't trust it either way. Anyhow, the carbs that are simple simple carbs aren't really going to do much for your body. Your body's going to burn through that like that. Now, the people that get up and eat a bagel in the morning for breakfast and just stop there, they just get the half slice of bagel or the double slice of bagel, spread some cream cheese, pop it, and go on with their day, they're going to be so tired in like an hour and a half. They're going to be exhausted, drained, just, yeah. They're going to be unhappy because they're going to be hungry. That's a simple carb. The cream cheese is just fat, and the bagel is just a simple bread. It's just carbs. Like, there's nothing really to it. It's just a carb load with some sugar. And most of the time bagels have, and most white breads and stuff have a bunch of sugar in them for I don't even know. It's disgusting when you look at what's in the food that people just eat on a daily basis. It's like, wow, that's disgusting. Like soda, don't get me on that one. But it's important to watch what kind of carbohydrates you have, because that can affect how your body processes them. Like if you're eating candy, now I wouldn't ever eat crackers and stuff as a meal. Now that might be like I'm in the middle of, in between meals, and I just, for some reason, I'm just like, ooh, I'm a little hungry right now. I'll pop a cup of crackers. I'm not ashamed of it. It's whatever. But that's a simple carb. That's not going to sustain me like pulling a meal out of the fridge would. It's not going to do the same thing. Your body's going to burn through a simple carb like that because there's no nutritional benefit from it. Now, on the other hand, if you were to eat a bowl of rice, if you were to eat some noodles, or if you were to eat whole wheat bread or something like that, like some toast or whatnot, you're going to get a lot more nutritional value from those items than you would just by, doing the basic, the bagel or the basic, bag of candy or the chips or all this stuff. Actually, here's an overall example of what a simple carb is. Anything sold in the middle of the store in a box that isn't a spice or a grain or a rice, anything sold in a bag, anything that crunches that's in a bag or in a box is not good for you. Anything that, takes less than 2 seconds to put in your mouth without any preparation, anything made in a factory, anything made in a synthetically made, anything that you can't see in the raw state usually isn't good for you. And what I mean in the raw state is, if you don't know how it was made, like these chips, I know how these are made. I know how graham crackers are made. Potato chip, I don't know how that's made. That might just be fried potato, but you don't know what else they're doing to the potato. You don't know where the potato came from. You don't know what kind of potato it is. Like, those are certain things that contribute to unhealthy food and bad carbs and simple carbs. Now, not all simple carbs are bad for you. In moderation. Now, complex carbs are going to be the carbs you get from rice, noodles, not starch noodles, but if you get like a grain noodle, if you get like a whatchamacallit, like couscous or something like that, something that's a grain that came out of the earth, anything that a nut or like almonds are a really popular one, any type of nut or grain, those are usually going to have a lot more nutritional value than anything else. And that's because they have a more complex makeup. It's not just factory garbage, It's a lot different than that. And so these things here, now this box right here, this box of Cheez-Its says this is going to give me 3 grams of protein. Now, there might be 3 grams of protein in this box in what it says I should eat. That is not protein that's efficient for your body to use. Those are very, very simple proteins, and those are proteins from like the flour. Those are proteins from like, oh man, what else is in here? Yeah, you got proteins from the wheat flour. You got proteins from the soybean and palm oil. That's all that comes from. That's not good for you. You can't get any substance or any value from those. They're just, rule of thumb, guys, stick to grains, rices, and nuts. Anything that you can scavenge for that actually grows from the earth, that you can see growing from the earth. Just remember that. Like a nut comes out of the ground. Grains come out of a plant. Rice comes out of a plant. Nuts, greens, those are the good things for you. Those are the complex carbs that are actually going to have proteins in them that are actually viable and usable for your body, that aren't just going to get burned through like the flour or the soybean oil. Those are actually going to be beneficial for your body and for your nutrition in a whole. The last thing I want to talk about is fats. Common misconception: fats are bad. No, they're not. Some fats are bad. Very true. Not all fat is bad for you guys. I'm literally sitting here rubbing olive oil on my chicken. Olive oil is essentially basically fat from an olive. Extracted, processed, and put into a, thingy majig over here. However they process it. I know it's not processed it could be processed in a factory. But like I said before with the out of the ground, I know olives come out of the ground. I know that the oils and stuff from olives come from olives, obviously. And I know that's a no-brainer, but it's a very, very visible example. So not all fats are bad for you. Not all fats are good for you. Like the fats that you get out of a McBurger Flop hamburger, or McBurger Flop doesn't exist. I'm just saying that. But if it did, the kind of food you would get from there has a lot of fat in it, and that fat isn't good. The fats that aren't good for you would be like the fats that come out of the box of Cheez-Its over here. Those fats aren't good for you. Those are from the palm oil, the soybean oil, the nasty shit, like the stuff you don't even know. Like there is some whey protein in here, but that's from the milk that they baked into the cracker. Like there's not good nutritional value to that, guys. It's a dry cracker out of a box. Go figure. Anyway. What was I saying? Right. So this kind of fat off the chicken, now this isn't necessarily bad for you. This is a meat fat. This is a fat from another creature that, actually does have a small pertaining bit of nutritional value. Your body needs fats in order to be able to protect your intestines, to be able to protect your organs, to be able to provide lining for your stomach, to be able to, all your organs and your internal systems require fat in order to run properly. It's almost like I don't know how to say that. It's like the lube for the engine. If you don't got oil in your engine's not going to run. If you don't have fats lining if you don't have a little, not a lot, but if you don't have a little bit of fat lining your arteries and things like that, like a healthy amount, you're going to die. Like you can die. Fats are very good for you. And so, or some fats are very good for you. Let me rephrase that. Fats out of olive oil, that's technically good for you because it's a plant. You're getting very good nutritional value from that fat. Now, I do know a little bit of the molecular makeup of a fat. It's made out of lipid cells, and your body is composed of lipid cells, which lines your intestines and other little parts and stuff. Wherever fat is on your body, you got lipid cells there. It's basically another term for fat. As far as I learned. Now, somebody, if I'm wrong on that, somebody please correct me, because I do want to learn a bit more about fats and stuff. I just never really researched it. So if you guys have any pointers or anything on that, if I'm wrong on anything, guys, if I have been misled anywhere in my life, please correct me. I am totally down for second opinions, and debate. Totally down for it. Like, if I'm wrong, call my fucking ass out. Excuse me. Call my ass out. Call me out. There we go. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to throw this chicken in. That was really a basic. I wanted to go into more depth, but I think I should just keep it really simple right now. I can, if you guys want. I know I was kind of distracted with this video. I was having the after gym brain, at the beginning, and then I was trying to focus on, I got somebody texting me, and I tried to do my chicken, and so I had a bunch of stuff going on. This was kind of the problem I was having before with getting the videos out in the first place, is I couldn't figure out the time. I got a lot of stuff going on. But I am going to make a really honest effort for you guys. I do have a lot of fun talking to you guys about this. I get to learn stuff. Like, I need to look up the definition of nutrition and what that really means. Now, there is a solid definition on dictionary.com, but it's very vague, and it doesn't really cover the broad aspect of what that really means. And I really hope that I was able to get that across to you guys, that it actually pertains to the beneficial intake that you get from your food. So I think that pretty much covers it. I'm going to throw my chicken in. I got to cook that. It's going to take me like an hour, or actually not even. It's going to take me less than an hour to cook. So, and I cook it slower. I like the more slow cooked chicken taste than the quick and dirty. I do have a little bit of extra time anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I hope the rest of you guys have a really good night, and I will talk to you guys later. I don't know when that's going to be, but it'll be very soon. I am going to be posting those pictures I was talking about earlier in the video that I found on my Facebook account. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions for me about anything, I've done my research. Just leave a comment. Also, guys, if you guys want to subscribe, like my video, that's freaking cool. I'd be totally super thankful for that. That'd feel really good for me. Anyway, guys, Swoos out. Have a great night.